your photographer and planner can do a lot to bring ideas to life. This bride and groom love Disney, and we decided that instead of a traditional engagement shoot, that we were going to do movie posters where they were incorporated into the movie poster itself. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of UnVeiled, where hopefully we bring inspiration to your wedding day and different ideas and crazy thoughts and just get your juices flowing. So in today's episode, we want to explore the possibility of themed weddings. We want to hopefully make this a regular segment, maybe monthly. And today's theme that we want to explore is going to be Disney. And to help us explore themed weddings, Disney-themed weddings, is wedding planner extraordinaire Jill.
Hello.
So Jill, thanks for coming.
Yeah. Happy to be here.
Jill, you specialize specifically in a different niche of wedding planning.
Yeah.
Just give us a brief overview of what you do that's so different in your wedding planning.
Yeah, so I do what I call nerdy wedding planning and design. So kind of what that means to me is I really focus on bringing the different stories and fandoms that people love, that maybe brought couples together. I really focus on bringing those to life on their wedding day. So many of these stories are what people met over, or maybe that's what they did for their first date, or they just connect over. So it should be a part of their special day. Their wedding should be as unique as they are and as their love story is.
Yeah, I always try to advise couples, like, find a way to express yourself in the wedding day. It's about you two.
Exactly.
And these days, so first of all, we met at a wedding expo. I was walking around, and as I walked past her booth, I'm like, what? Nerdy weddings? Really? And I'm like, man, I gotta talk to this girl. What's this all about? That excites me because I was nerdy before nerdy was cool, okay? When you can get beat up for liking comic books because bullies were still okay and it was still part of the social zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in the 90s. I was trying to become a comic book artist initially before I got into the filmmaking stuff.
Yeah.
And it was in the era of, for the nerds out there, if you know Jim Lee, like that was my comic book artist god. And I would go to Comic-Con when you can actually buy the tickets at the door at San Diego Comic-Con. Like you could literally just line up and buy your tickets. And
I wish.
I know. And then eventually, like slowly as I got to college, I'm like, really? You gotta reserve tickets?
Yeah.
What do you mean? It would just be a bunch of really hardcore nerds pushing their boxes of comics to get signed by all their famous favorite artists. And it wasn't like a bunch of celebrities there.
Yeah.
These are only people that were celebrities at the Comic-Con. Right? And it was so neat for me. Ultimately, I realized that that world was too lonely.
Yeah.
Because you're just drawing and you're alone. And I love the collaborative nature of filmmaking, which is what got me into this world and eventually weddings. Yeah. Which is also just full of fun and happy people. Yeah. And you have to be people to do wedding, right?
Yep.
Like, it's not even about being a photographer or like a production designer or anything like that. Like, you just have to love people and love the whole thing. Yeah. Otherwise, you're out pretty quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. They're so personal, you kind of meet everyone involved with the wedding. You meet, obviously the couple, but beyond that, it's like their family, their friends. You meet everyone important to them, and all the vendors that you work with. So yeah, it's just deeply collaborative.
Yeah, which is, your background is in production in the entertainment industry. Mm-hmm. So you were telling us, like, off screen, like the transition from that world to this world. Like, give us, for the camera, how did you get into this world again, of the weddings? Yeah,
so I worked for several years in production management in the entertainment industry, and I got married a few years ago. Me and my husband are both nerds. We connected over the video game Kingdom Hearts.
Which is heavily Disney.
Yes, heavily Disney. But also, we watched Disney movies together. One of the first things that we knew that we both liked each other was watching Pocahontas.
Pocahontas specifically.
Yeah, we were in we went in college, so we were in our dorm room and we were sitting on a couch together in the suite. We were watching Pocahontas and we just both kind of realized that there was more there. So we've always had kind of Disney involvement since the beginning.
So is that when you realized that there's maybe something there that wasn't there before?
There you go. Yes. But just as we worked together for several years before we ever got engaged or married.
Who was a hardcore fan?
I just honestly, it depends on the fandom, and I think also our fandomness shows in different ways, our nerddom shows in different ways.
Fandom showing.
My husband's very he's got a memory for days. He remembers all the details, and he knows all the facts. He knows all the history. I don't have a very good memory for that stuff. So but I grew up going to Disney World, and I go to Disney all the time, even now as an adult. It's different things, and I just love to watch movies and TV on my own. I play video games. It's just different. But our relationship always kind of revolved around these things. We watched movies and TV together that we loved, or if the other person hadn't watched it, then we showed it to each other. I had never watched Star Wars before I met my husband.
Are you able?
Star Wars, yeah.
Are you able to stay faithful when you're watching a show together, or does one of you cheat and watch it without the other person?
So we mostly watch things nowadays together. If for some reason I'm out somewhere shooting a wedding, and it's doing a wedding, and he has a Marvel show or something that he knows is going to be super spoiled, then usually I'm whatever, watch it. I will watch it.
Okay.
Because I work from home primarily, when I'm not.
So you're in an open relationship.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You can watch without me, fine.
Yeah, I'm not super strict. My husband, I think, on the other way, he would always prefer to watch it with me than have me watch it first. But we're flexible.
You're more flexible with that.
Yeah. I'm not a big spoiler person, in that I care about spoilers. If I get spoiled, I get upset about it, but I'm not devastated. But he cares more about spoilers.
Do you know the show Dexter?
I haven't
about
watched it, but I know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one time I had to shoot something in San Francisco, and Sheila was staying local, and I think she wasn't shooting anything that day herself. And while I'm shooting a wedding, I get a text. And she tells me that one of the main characters died.
Divorce.
I know, right? I was because the wife of the main character dies. And it was which, in fairness, it did kind of soften the blow for me when I finally got to see it happen, because she died a gruesome death.
Yeah, fair.
But I'm babe, I can't believe you just did that. Not only did you watch it, you told me. I'm oh.
Yeah.
So, going back to Disney.
Yeah.
Why did we pick Disney to be our first experiment on talking about themed weddings? Well, Disney is low-hanging fruit, dude.
Right.
It's there's so many things that you could do with Disney. And when I was doing my brainstorming about this, it occurred to me, wow, literally from A to Z about everything in a wedding, you can go Disney on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because they have so much merch and they have so much IP that it's if you want 100% Disney for your wedding, you can.
Yeah.
Down to the venue. You can literally get married at Disneyland.
Right, right. And I think one of the things that I really like about doing Disney and weddings is that, the reason we all love Disney is because they're masters of storytelling. And it's not just specifically the writing, it's also the design, and there are elements that we pick out of our Disney movies. When you think of Beauty and the Beast, you think of the red roses. When you think of
In the glass.
Cinderella, the glass slipper. Yeah,
Yeah,
like with the cloche. Yeah, you think of the glass slipper for Cinderella. Like all these kind of little things. Like you're not just picking up on the what the actual story writing is, but also just like all the elements you think of. Ariel, with her red hair and stuff. Like none of that's in the book, but like that it's adapted from. But
Oh man.
But those are what we think of.
Oh, this is gonna be bad. Why does Ariel wear seashells?
I can't tell if this is a joke or an actual question.
Because A shells were too small. Or no, darn it! I blew with the punchline. Because B shells were too small and D shells were too big. Oh, blew it. Never mind. Moving on. Horrible dad joke. I am a dad. I can do dad jokes. I am an actual dad. Okay. All right.
Listen, my husband and I have a dog. We don't have any children, but he's still very good at dad jokes.
The dad jokes.
He, as a dog dad too. So.
Although my daughters would be ashamed of my dad jokes.
Well,
but,
that's why you do the dad jokes.
It's true.
So that you can shame them.
Yes, that is 100% true.
And embarrass them.
It is part of my goal in life is to embarrass my daughters. Jelly and Sam, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so let's just start. Let's get into it. Of how can you make your wedding day Disney themed? And we're just gonna throw out ideas and see what sticks with you, just to get your juices flowing for your own wedding day if you're a Disney fan. Now, with any themed weddings, you can go chill, you can go hardcore.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna throw everything out for someone that's maybe going fully hardcore.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I'll cut away to shots as we're talking about things, and we'll just see what sounds cool, and we'll just have fun with it.
Yeah.
So, okay. The first obvious one I already kind of mentioned is you could literally have your wedding at Disneyland.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get more Disney than that.
Right.
It costs about this and probably a liver.
Yeah. Totally.
Do you actually know how much it costs?
Because I did look a little bit when I was getting married. So I'm sure it's gone up, but I don't think the lowest tier, package or whatever was as much as I thought it was going to be. But I still think you're probably looking at, $15,000 minimum.
That low?
Like, I mean, again, I don't know what it is now, and it depends, what you're, like, if it's just at the hotel, then like at one of the hotels, then that's, that's different. Disney,
versus like
and also
inside
Walt Disney,
the park.
Yeah, inside the park. And Walt Disney World has more venue options than Disneyland. And then there's also like the cruise line, you could get married on the ship. So like there's a whole ton of different packages that they have, and like, it can easily range up into like the 100,000s.
Yeah, I bet.
I think like the lowest tier, like it's just basically in like the conference center, but it has some like Disney flourishes, was not that much.
So the lowest tier doesn't quite bring a tier?
Yeah, there you go.
That's definitely, if that's a broad stroke way to start. Find any of the permutations of the Disney venues to have a Disney themed wedding, and then that's already an overarching arch to your wedding. Now let's back it up now. For me, one of the places that it starts is your invitations.
Yeah.
Why did I pronounce it that way? Invitations. Your invitations. There you go. It sounds more normal. And as a photographer, oftentimes my work gets integrated into the invitations. Too easy hanging fruit. Like, where does your imagination take you there? As I toss those out.
I mean, I think it even begins earlier than that.
Oh, yeah? Where?
Like, I mean, even with save the dates, and like, I like to really incorporate theming, not just into design and decor, but also into the planning and, picking your vendors and stuff. Because like, I think, again, like we talked about, it's so collaborative in working in weddings, like you need to find people who kind of understand your vision, kind of what you're hoping to do. Because if you don't, then like it's just not gonna flow together the way you think.
Right.
But yeah, like I mean.
So for instance, for me, and I guess when I said invitations, I probably mean save the dates.
Yeah.
Because that's usually where they put a photo,
like an engagement
and then you
photo.
put an engagement photo. And let's say you want to go subtle. Engagement photo could literally just be your clothes are in theme colors to, let's say like I could be wearing Beast right now.
Right.
And then if she
I'm wearing like a yellow dress or something like.
And then just those two will kind of symbolize Belle and Beast.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, you can go full cosplay.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
You know, if you want. That, or even just the location.
Yeah.
If you can.
But like I have a wedding coming up in a few months that's at the Anaheim Majestic Garden Inn. And if you haven't seen this venue, it is gorgeous, and it's right by Disneyland. It's like basically across the street, and it's like a castle. Yeah. It's like really, kind of olden looking. It looks like a castle on the outside. Mm-hmm. Right, like even
if that's
choice
your
of venue, like they're doing a storybook themed wedding, so it's like perfect. It's it encapsulates that theme.
Okay, so another cool place for an engagement shoot. Let's say you were doing Ariel, Little Mermaid. Have you heard of Victoria Beach in Laguna?
Oh yeah.
So it has like this little pirate castle, and they have these big rock formations that if you just do this to a rock formation, it's so Ariel. One time actually I was shooting an engagement shoot there, and randomly there were these mermaid people. Like they were literally, they had mermaid
they have like
bottoms.
the tails,
And I was just so intrigued. They're having a photo shoot. I'm like, there's mermaids. Yeah. So I had to go ask, because I'm like that kind of person that excuse me, what are you guys doing? Like, I thought they were maybe selling the mermaid tails. Yeah. That's what I thought. Turns out, nope, I was completely wrong. They were selling these jewelry.
Oh.
For the arm. And like bracelets and things like. Oh, so you dressed up as mermaids to sell arm jewelry?
Yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
Why not? That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean at the expo that we met at, one of the guests, one of the people at the expo, looking at wedding stuff. It was a friend of the bride. Came up to me and was like, "Hey, I'm actually a mermaid performer. So if you ever need that, let me know." So it's just it's always funny.
Now, is that a person that actually in the tank swims into the tank?
Yeah.
And swims as a mermaid?
Yep. Yeah, and she had her own tails and stuff. I was like, wow, that's crazy. I mean, I'm sure eventually I will get someone who wants the full experience like that. So it could come up.
If you are looking for a fully immersive, we're here. We're in Southern California, but we will travel for crazy wedding ideas like that we can help bring to life. And you know what? For me, as a wedding photographer, I'm also a cinematographer and commercial photographer. So, being able to do those kind of things, I'm able to bring it into the wedding day and shoot engagement shoots that pretty much look like a movie poster or anything from the stuff that we are into. Yeah. And it's actually the most fun for me. I normally don't get to flex those muscles doing a wedding, because weddings is not about photography. Weddings is about capturing moments and making sure that they enjoy, and then making sure that you have a process in capturing these moments thoroughly without missing anything. But I can't be going crazy on lighting. I can't be doing specific framing exactly how I want it to be like I would in a commercial or a movie. Yeah. But when you have vendors like us that know what it takes to make these things happen, you can have legit looking stuff for your wedding day.
Yeah. And because it's so collaborative, having all of your vendors on board, it makes the whole thing an experience, not just an event. And
experience.
that's always what I'm about.
And it's not just for you, for the
experiential
couple.
Storytelling.
It's for the guests
Yes,
too.
exactly.
Right?
That's what it's all about. The guest experience, the couple's experience. And yeah, that's why I always say, like, it's experiential storytelling. I want to be telling the story of the couple, you know, of course, usually through the lens of the stories that they love.
Yeah.
And really have an experience for them and their guests that really encompasses who they are.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so, I mean, we've only talked about just the beginning.
Yeah.
We're not even at the wedding yet.
No.
You know? So, next thing, dress.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the most obvious. Dress and the attire of the groom.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many, you can either, again, just go with colors,
Yeah.
or you can go with the actual styles. Like, I've seen Belle-inspired wedding dresses. There might even be a line of Disney inspired dresses, aren't there? The cuts.
I think it is just like Disney weddings is the line. But yeah, they do have their own line of wedding dresses. But yeah, there are so many that are just at this point just inspired by Disney stories. Because like who doesn't like, I don't know, like there's so many people who like even if you don't love Disney, you can say like, oh my God, the Cinderella
magical.
dress is like the most gorgeous thing I've ever seen in my life.
It could still be beautiful.
You know? Like, right, exactly.
Fandom aside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's obvious, and throwing some examples on screen of what the groom can wear. Again, colors, cut styles.
Yeah.
It's all out there, and then that's why this is such low-hanging fruit for a theme. Like, you're not going to run out of ideas.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, I always like to do like cool boutonnieres as well. Like, and then for women, I really like jewelry. Cause that's again like it's always as much or as little as the couple wants, but jewelry is a very easy thing to make it as obvious or
what's
as
some like
not.
iconic jewelry for Disney?
Yeah, I mean, even just like it's just little things for me. Like at my own wedding, I had like a very subtle like Mickey.
That makes sense.
Necklace. Like if you looked from afar, you wouldn't know. It just looked beautiful, looked pretty.
But then
up
you're like,
close,
it's
it had
Mickey.
like little Mickeys. Yeah.
It's almost like a hidden Mickey in the park.
And my earrings were keyblades. So like.
For what's that reference? I'm not catching.
Oh,
that.
that's from Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, that's from Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts. Okay. My friend played it hardcore. I watched him play.
Yeah.
So I didn't know the details as much.
Yeah. So like on one ear, I had like the actual kind of like blade part, and then on the other side I had like there's always like a keychain at the
one
end.
that Cloud carries? What's his name?
Cloud is in Kingdom Hearts, but he's from Final Fantasy primarily, which is Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts is both Disney, Final Fantasy, and then also original characters.
But is that the blade that he carries or no?
Not technically, no.
So what part of Kingdom Hearts is it from?
So the main character Sora has a Keyblade, and then a bunch of other characters also later get, but in the original Kingdom Hearts, it's kind of just like Sora and Riku have Keyblades.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, that's not my fandom. So I don't know as many details on
No,
that.
I get it. Like, my thing I always say to clients too, because like, I'm a big nerd of a lot of different fandoms, but like, I'm not a superhero myself. Like I don't know everything.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, listen, if I don't know it though, like I always love getting into new fandoms.
Yeah.
So like I will research, I will immerse myself in those fandoms because I think every fandom really does have unique elements that you pull out.
Sure.
Obviously if we're talking about Disney, and Disney is a huge one, but everything else does too. Like you can just think of iconic things for pretty much anything.
Yeah. I mean, recently I had a few grooms that were really into One Piece, and I wasn't.
Yeah, my husband's really into One Piece.
Okay, I wasn't quite into One Piece, so I started getting the graphic novels or the manga.
Yeah.
And started getting into it. I tried the cartoons. It was tougher.
Yeah.
Because it's very dated.
Yeah, it's hard to. I'm watching it for because I watched the live action.
That's really good.
One Piece.
We started watching that now.
Yeah, I watched it with my husband, and then after we watched it together, he then watched literally the entire up to where they are now.
Like 1,000 something episodes.
Like a ton of episodes. And so now he's trying to get me into it. So now we just started.
That's tough to get
anime.
into.
But it's definitely a tough start. And he said that he was like, listen, like it is like. It's tough to start.
It's a lot because it's a mountain.
And it's a lot. Yeah, right. It is a mountain.
And
but
they're
like
redoing
once you
the
get
whole
to
thing.
like episode whatever, it's probably, you know, probably honestly like,
hundreds.
yeah, 100, like 150 or whatever, then you're good. Okay. I mean, it helps that I have seen the live action, so I did like,
Yeah.
I at least am like, all right, so like this is happening, and I know this is going to happen.
And you know they're
But-
reanimating the whole from the beginning again.
Oh, really?
A new company is reanimating
Really?
it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
cool
excited
too.
for that.
Yeah.
Because then the beginning will look more contemporary.
Yeah.
Because the cartoony style was so dated.
It's very like 90s.
Very 90s,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Dragon
it reminds
Ball.
me of, like Pokemon, the original Pokemon anime.
I feel like it's even more clunky than Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like it feels more Dragon Ball-y
yeah.
than Pokemon.
Yeah, that's true. It is very similar. Yeah.
This is getting nerdy really quick.
Well, that's why I'm here, right?
That's why we're talking. That's why we're talking. Okay, so we talked about invites, save the dates, dresses, trinkets that
Yeah.
we can put on. We haven't gotten to the wedding yet. We're not
Yeah.
even at the wedding yet. So let's see what happens after you get the dress, you get the clothes, and it doesn't have to stop with the bride and groom. It could
No.
go on to
I like to have like the
bridal
wedding party. Yeah, wedding party. Do like themed bouquets and things like that too.
Who has a lot of sisters? Ariel?
Yeah, 7 sisters. Well, I guess 6 sisters, right?
Because like they all have different colors.
Yeah.
That'd be a neat thing for
Yeah.
bridesmaids of like different colors of
Yeah.
Ariel sisters. And then Cinderella doesn't. Well, you wouldn't want to be Cinderella. Well, none of the sisters are ever good. All the sisters are pretty much bad in
yeah.
these movies, right? Ariel sisters, they weren't bad. No,
Yeah,
they weren't bad.
they're fine.
They were just,
they
like,
don't. They're not really
aloof.
in it much. Yeah, like, but like,
But
yeah,
Ariel was a favorite. That was always unfair.
yeah.
I was like, dude, you clearly have a favorite. Why? What did Ariel do to deserve
You know,
that?
sometimes it's like the youngest sibling is the best.
Or is it that she had the prettiest voice?
Yeah, I mean, I think that helps too.
But that'd be neat. I've never seen that where you use the colors of the other characters to be part of the secondary
Yeah.
cast of your wedding
Yeah,
day. That'd be
and
neat.
even like however you feel about Snow White, like you could have like elements of the 7 dwarves, like
have the
color
groomsmen
schemes.
be
Yeah,
7 dwarfs.
yeah.
And you hire midgets for your wedding day. That'd be.
Yeah, but like I lean very much into color schemes. So like
Yeah.
like use the different colors. You think of like Grumpy and it's like red, and I
Okay,
think
yeah,
like
they do have
Doc,
different colors.
Was it Doc is
Yeah,
orange?
Doc is one of them. Ooh,
Dopey is green. So
you,
yeah,
you know enough to know these colors. Because
I can't. Not all of them, but
I just
I'm
group
just
them in my
thinking of
head.
some. It's either Doc or Happy. That's orange. I just worked on a Snow White centerpiece like within the last few days.
Okay,
so
okay, so it's
I
kinda in your
had
head.
like a bunch of like little figurines of them, so that I was working with. So I'm like trying to remember what else. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, even just looking at supporting characters, right? Like in Beauty and the Beast, we have so many
Right,
like,
all the, like,
Lumiere and
yeah.
the clock and all
Yeah.
those. Like, there's so much.
And there's just so many details you can really pick out.
So jumping right in, let's move on to the actual wedding day because
Yeah.
we've talked about so much, and we're
Already
already
in
like
the before.
halfway- yeah. Okay. So in the actual wedding day, well, I'll let you run with this one. I bet you got tons of ideas already for the different elements of your wedding day to
Yeah.
be
I mean,
Disney. Yeah.
like I said, I do both the planning and the design. So it obviously starts way in advance of the actual wedding day.
Yeah. The prep
getting
wise.
everything, get prep wise, getting everything ready. But yeah, I mean, there's so much to do because it's all the things that you would traditionally have at your wedding. All the signage, all the centerpieces, florals, all of that.
I like doing visualizations
Yeah.
where I'm like, all right, if I'm walking into the wedding day, that's when I start to like look at it. So the first thing when you walk into a wedding, you might see a sign of some sort. It
Yep.
could be a seating, it could
Or
be
like
a
a
welcome
welcome
sign,
sign, yeah.
Jinx. What do you do for Jinx in your generation?
You owe me a soda.
Ah, yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It's so soft.
Easy.
You know, our Jinx, do you know what you do for Jinx with us? I'm 42, by the way.
Which one was
So I'm in
that?
the 90s.
It's like,
If we say Jinx, you can't talk, and if you talk, we punch you.
yeah. I was gonna say, I know it had punching.
There's more
in it.
violence.
Yeah, I have 2 older sisters, so they were very like in like 80s, 90s kids.
Okay,
So like
okay.
I grew up with a lot of
Around
that
it.
influence. Yeah.
I get, yeah. Sorry, what
And
the
I
heck-
have a 90s kid too.
What the
but
heck were we talking about?
The actual wedding.
Oh,
day.
wedding signs.
Yeah, wedding signs.
So, okay, well, how can a wedding sign be Disney?
There's tons of ways. Again, it depends on the like exact theme. If it's like just Disney in general, or
we'll
if
call
it's
it Disney
specifically a
general.
story. But there's, and again, it just depends on how much or as little as you want.
We're going
but
max. We're going max
if
Disney.
in the max thing, like I usually would use a Disney font.
Okay, Disney font.
Like
yeah.
if you're talking about a welcome sign, a Disney font, and then a cool background. I don't know what exactly I would use, but like
castle.
like a castle, a castle, or even just something like more plain that I can work with. Because I like to do a lot of like background details. I kind of like up the transparency a bit, so it's just like little things in the background. So I like to do lots of like stars and sparkles and things like that, and then with that I would throw in some different elements like little hidden Mickeys or or like different, like we talked about different elements from Disney stories.
Idea off the top of my head, like mirrors are often used for signs, right? And I mean, obviously it's an easy Snow White type of Snow White reference of just having a mirror.
Like magic mirror.
Yeah, like a magic mirror. It'd be neat to like see a talking mirror.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I'm sure it's like you can buy anything now.
Yeah.
So that has either a welcome on it, or it can have like the names of the tables.
Yeah.
That's a thing too.
So like one of the things I like to do with seating charts is I often do weddings where each table has a theme.
Yeah.
So like if it was just like a Disney wedding, maybe each table was a different movie. So like I lean heavily into elements and colors. So like elements would be like the rose, and versus like colors when you think of Beauty and the Beast would be like yellow, blue, red. So I would probably like find a symbol that basically represents that movie. It might be the rose for Beauty and the Beast, and that would be kind of like the element that you would use to represent that table.
It'd be kind of neat if you, and sometimes it's like I'm way too obvious in my representations, but like I love the old VHS boxes for Disney movies.
Yeah.
And if you can find like good conditioned VHS boxes with the VHS inside, because sometimes you can raffle off who gets the centerpiece if you want to give it away. And if it's a well put together and then it has a VHS in there, that's kind of neat giveaway.
Yeah.
And it really brings the nostalgia of like the old Disney.
Yeah, like I have a wedding coming up, that storybook themed wedding one. We're thinking that the kind of like seating chart will be like bookmarks, like
cool.
a library card.
And they can take that home.
That'll be their favor, yeah.
Yeah, it's a party favor.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So like I like to do like cool, unique, interactive things like that. The signage kind of, I lean heavily into those symbols, heavily into the elements, heavily into colors. That guides me all the way through.
Yeah, awesome. Signage is an amazing place that's like really obvious and really like it hits you right away as you walk in.
Right, it's the first thing that guests see when they walk in. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, we're in this. And if you already received an invitation or save the date that you saw was Disney themed, maybe you were even asked to wear Disney inspired clothing.
Yeah.
You could have been, right? And so you're kind of walking in going, this is okay. That's what we're going to experience here today.
Yeah.
The songs that could be playing in the background, there's so much Disney music.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I like doing a lot of working with DJs or like bands or whoever the couple has, and doing like instrumental versions of Disney songs. There's so many like orchestrations that you can do that. Like, again, if you didn't know anything about Disney, you'd be like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. It like still really fits
you'd be like, oh, that's from.
Right. But yeah, if you know, and then again, it just adds that extra level of kind of that personalization and storytelling.
It's been a while since I've been to Disney, but is there like a ragtime band?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Like close to the entrance?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that'd be kind of neat. You don't see as much ragtime, but it's also romantic. Like to have a ragtime band playing at the entrance of a reception.
Yeah, well, I see a lot. especially at these like expos, I've been seeing a lot more like harpists and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like you could definitely play some
And a
like
harpist
beautiful like Disney
is-
music on a harp. And
It's
then
also Beauty and Beast.
Yeah, and it would fit a wedding perfectly.
Oh yeah, it's so much of this lends itself to weddings, right?
Exactly.
So music, go crazy. There's so many subtle and very obvious Disney references that you can do for music, and music also sets tone. So literally, as you're walking in, if music is already playing, that's Disney. You can already be transported into a magical place just from hearing it.
Yeah.
You know, let alone seeing all the details.
Exactly.
And of course, once you get to your first dance, I mean, duh.
There's so many things you could do.
Yeah. I mean, you can even choreograph your dance in accordance with the Bellin.
Right.
What's his name? Does he have a name? Beast?
Adam.
That's his name?
Yeah.
Adam. Okay.
But like he's never like
Prince
actually,
Adam?
I don't think he's ever actually like referred to it in the like I think it's in like a side book or something.
Okay.
But yeah, that's technically
That's
his
the
name.
Beast's actual name.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like there's so much you could do. I mean, even like at my own personal wedding, my husband and his mom, like they did a dance, and it was to "You'll Be in My Heart" from Tarzan.
Oh, that always gets you.
Yeah. I mean,
Come stop your crying. Yeah, I mean,
and I did a song from that was also Phil Collins from Brother Bear, for my like father-daughter dance.
Oh, I only slightly remember Brother Bear. What's the song? Do you know?
Trying to think, it's like on the tip of my tongue. It's harder to like. Yeah, I know. It's always harder to like think of that one because Tarzan is so iconic.
Yes, I know, and
But,
now it's in our heads
yeah.
too. You'll be in my heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So music, the first dances, the parent dances.
Yeah.
Could also have Disney. And you know what? Speaking of setting the environment, I just want to make sure we do a quick pause.
Yeah.
To talk about the environment that we are in right
Yeah.
now. So we are actually at the California Country Club, which is our today's sponsor.
Yeah.
For these themed shows, and the California Country Club is in Whittier, which is in SoCal. It's a gorgeous venue.
Yeah.
It's a country club, so you have all the classic country club amenities. So behind us right now, it's a really rainy day, but we have a gorgeous golf course outside, and it's very much also a blank slate.
Yeah.
So it's a great place to consider for your wedding day, and they're also very affordable here. Okay, so hopefully, if you are looking for a venue for your wedding day and you're in Southern California, consider California Country Club. Cool people, nice venue, very easy to work with them, and it's a pleasure being here to shoot these segments. So back to our Disney themed weddings. Okay, we ourselves, as the vendors of you being a designer and planner, and me being a photographer and videographer, we can do a lot.
Yeah.
Your photographer and planner can do a lot to bring ideas to life.
Yeah.
So for me, one of my favorite iterations of incorporating Disney into a shoot was something I shared with you recently.
Yeah.
And I don't get to do this very often because not everyone wants to go this hardcore in.
Yeah.
But this bride and groom love Disney, and we decided that instead of a traditional engagement shoot, that we were going to do movie posters where they were incorporated into the movie poster itself. Since I wasn't going to try to draw them, although I do draw, but I felt rusty and I didn't want to challenge myself into like caricaturing them.
Yeah.
I wanted to just find the live action Disney posters. So we found the ones that had humans in it that was easy to integrate. So specifically, we found Aladdin,
Beauty and the Beast,
Beauty and the Beast, Mulan,
Yes.
Jungle Cruise,
Okay. Yeah.
and X-Men.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if I saw that one.
And I just realized that's wrong. Because X-Men wasn't a part of Disney yet. It was Marvel, but we chose X-Men. So those are the posters that we created. And as a technician of photography and lighting, and it was fun for me because I had to look at the poster.
Yeah.
I had to analyze what lens because each lens has a different
Yeah.
effect on the way it distorts
Yeah.
the face, right? And I'm like, what lens, what camera angle, and how should I light it so that when I Photoshop them in, it's
It
gonna
doesn't.
match.
Yeah, right. It doesn't look weird.
So I took to the color, the angles of the light, and we shot it at a studio. We had a studio at the time, so we shot it there, and it was such a little fun experiment for me to go, okay, cool, let me light you this way now. Oh, cool, let me light you, and then figure out like how to Photoshop
Pose
it.
and how to
It's
Photoshop
like, is the
it.
head more this way or this way or this way? And it needed to blend.
Yeah.
Like Mulan's face with all the hair, I had
Yeah.
to like, where am I gonna cut it off?
Yeah.
Where it's gonna still match. So for me, it tickled all my artistic sensibilities to pull it off. And some posters were better than others.
Yeah.
I'd say my worst one was a Jungle Cruise, which is why I didn't send it to
Yeah.
you. It's just the face, I misjudged the camera angle and lens of the Rock's face. And I'm like, is all right.
I feel like he also has a very like. This feels weird to say. Very distinct head.
Well,
so
so does
probably
the-
like the lighting too.
So does
and
the
everything,
Beast,
yeah.
and I matched the Beast pretty
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So this is my flaw, not the Rock's head. It was me as a technician of the craft. But I was so proud because on the day of the wedding, they printed it like this big, like poster
Yeah.
size, and they had it displayed, and people were like selfieing, and they were
Oh, that's
really
so cool.
And now they get to go home and hang that on their
right,
walls.
yeah.
So what cool little pieces to take home for
Yeah.
yourself. And I'm sure every time they have guests, it's going to be like, take a look at me.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that you? Ah. I love those kind of things.
Yeah.
Like, real conversation pieces. you know?
Yeah,
So,
and that's what's nice, I think, about doing these like cool trinkety centerpieces and things like that is like I work a lot with like fake flowers and like I said, with trinkets and lights and things like that. But they get to take it all home with them.
Yeah.
Like I have from my own wedding, I have all of the things that I used in my wedding are around my house. We have our lanterns that we had in our ceremony live on our by our TV, like on
That's
the
cool. So you
side
found
table.
ways to integrate
We
it
have,
into your home.
Yeah, we have like a bunch of like a bunch of the trinkets from stuff we have kind of around decorating our room, and we turned all of our flowers into Christmas ornaments.
So that's cool.
So it's like it's
So-
stuff they get to take with them, because usually all you really get from the wedding day is like photography. That's kind of all you
So
get.
in a way,
but-
you get to have your cake and eat it too.
yeah,
And for way longer, because these things can actually be part of your daily life.
yeah,
If you pick the cool things to put in your wedding day.
yeah.
And speaking of like your design and your own skill set, you brought something for us today that
Yeah.
you wanted to show us that could be a potential thing that you can put to a Disney themed wedding.
Yeah.
So I know I've been excited to take a look at this and kind of dig a little deeper. So why don't we go and check it out?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, join us and we're going to go to the other where we set it all up. All right. So what have you brought us here today?
Yeah, so this is kind of my Disney centerpiece / tablescape. Obviously, it would look a little bit different on a wedding day with place settings and things like that. But this kind of gives you an idea of a little bit of what I do. So in the center here, we have kind of a mix of things here. So we've got in the middle. We've got like kind of a cloche that is kind of representative of Beauty and the Beast,
yeah.
with some red roses in it. And then we have Mickey and Minnie in a little hot air balloon that's shaped like a heart. It's hard to see from that angle, but you've got different, like I said, different elements. You've got
You
kind
got
of
the
some Beauty and the
colors of the
Beast.
Beauty and the Beast,
Yeah.
yep.
So we got Mickey and Minnie, and of course they're in love. So that kind of it leads in the center, really as the main focal element. And then around here, I always like to do some height, so I have it on a extra pedestal, and then around the pedestal, like I said, I work a lot with fake flowers, so I have some blue and yellow flowers as well, which is not just indicative of Beauty and the Beast, but also a little bit of Snow White. I like to
from
do
part of her
her
dress.
dress.
Right.
It honestly, the yellow and blues show up in a lot of different Disney movies, so I thought that would work really well
So
for
that new movie
for this
that's
as
about
well.
to take the world by storm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so we kind of got a little bit of Beauty and the Beast, and some Snow White, some
Well, we got the apple,
yeah, and then we have over here we have kind of the poison apple.
which is also in Enchanted.
Yeah, yeah. So works for that. And we have, of course, the glass slipper here from Cinderella. And then over on this side, we have the magic lamp from Aladdin.
Which I like to rub.
And then on the end, I have a seashell kind of indicative of Little Mermaid.
Back to my dad joke. That's more of a D shell, though. I just broke the. I thought I broke the lamp.
No, you're good. It comes off very easily.
Give me the lamp.
Yeah, so I like to do light, both, kind of trinkets, flowers, and lights. So, this shoe, it's hard to tell a little bit, I'm sure, but this is lit up, and then that seashell there also lights up, and then in here, there's some lights around the roses as well. So I really like to incorporate lots of different elements there.
For my lightingness, I would even say inside this, you could put even more lights.
Yeah.
So that once it gets once you turn the lights down,
yeah,
everything is like all illuminated.
You could easily do a whole bunch more. But I will say the little trinket that I got was a little bit wonky. It broke a little bit, so I had to balance it perfectly right. So I didn't want to put too much in around the hot air balloon, so it didn't get broken.
You know what? Like you mentioned earlier too. Once you finish with your wedding day, these are actually things that you can take home and put in little parts of your house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like with my own wedding, I literally just cut some of the actual roses off and put them in like a little crystal or clear plastic ball, and they're Christmas ornaments. Or I have like around my room on like the different dressers and things that we have like elements like these, just different things from our wedding. So yeah, you get to take it with you, use however you want, and you kind of always have that memory of that day, and of course of your favorite stories too.
Yeah, and you know what? This is something that you can definitely DIY. You can definitely find on Amazon and different places. But why DIY when you can have this lovely person here, like Jill, doing it all for you, and putting her creative juices into creating these pieces that can not just be on your main table, but all the other tables as well.
Yeah.
So, and it's more fun when you're collaborating too, because it's not just like your own like ideas.
Yeah.
And you could definitely be overwhelmed by how much ideas you have. So when you have someone to collaborate with, like you, then decisions can be made a little bit more strong.
Yeah, and I think it's always really good to work collaboratively, because I'm someone who works, even back when I worked in entertainment, my job has always been to work creatively and logistically, because it's easy to have big ideas and be like, I'm gonna have all these things, blah 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 blah, but then not think about your budget or how you're logistically going to do these things on the day of. So that's where I think having someone like me can really help, because I'm really good at seeing both the big picture and how we can manage expectations and do things still creatively and beautifully.
Speaking of logistic expectations, you got to think about this. If you're doing this for your wedding day and you're DIYing, that means, and if you're doing this for all the tables, that means you're bringing all these things and piece by piece, meticulously assembling it. And then at the end of the day,
you're going to break it down too. Yeah.
You got to break it down, and break it down nicely so that it's not going to be
keep it
broken or misplaced.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work. Whenever I hear someone say, I ask them, hey, what's your wedding vision? And then every now and then someone will say, just that we can just have fun and be relaxed and stress-free, especially stress-free. That's when I go, okay, you want stress-free?
Yeah, you need at least a coordinator, if not a planner. Yeah.
Yes, and the duration of stress-freeness that you want is going to depend on what you book.
Yes.
You want a full planner, then you get longer stress-free.
Yeah.
It's like someone that can hire your vendors, source all your stuff, put it all together. Or maybe it's like the budget's a little tighter. At least a day of coordinator where the execution of your vision can happen via a person that can shield you from all the stressors that's
And
gonna happen that day.
even design, I do design separately as well. Like I have I work on either a consultation basis, or if someone just wants me to design their whole wedding, I do both of those things too. And I work with all kinds of budgets. So, all of this stuff that I have on the table is from Amazon. So it actually ended up being pretty cheap, but we can upgrade things. We could I work with a lot of small business vendors who do like trinkets and things like these. So we can kind of upgrade things a little bit. So, these red roses, they look great. It would definitely work, but if you wanted to kind of have them be even nicer, I work with someone who does do like
Even
fake,
more higher end
like higher end faux
quality,
florals. So you can really level it up or down to whatever your budget and needs
whatever
are.
suits the budget.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you for bringing this stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us all this inspiration. Let's go back to the chairs.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, Jill, thank you for showing us your lovely designs
Yeah.
over here, and thank you for being part of the show. Hopefully, you guys have gotten inspiration for all this jabbering that we've done, and stay tuned. We're gonna have hopefully more themed talks, and we're gonna explore different fandoms. And of course, just stay tuned in the channel, because hopefully we just want to bring you inspiration and get you your juices flowing for your wedding day, and bring you as many cool ideas as we possibly can. See you next time.